Mimi ningependa kuwa congratulate sababu jana nilisikia yule candidate wa UDA walipata kura 1,000 sijui 100. Sasa kama sasa
Hello viewer. Welcome to Dokiza TV podcast. In today's podcast, I want to have a detailed look at the big trouble in UDA of President William Ruto. UDA leaders keep blundering by not learning from the signs of the times. That is the heart of the matter. He ignores the tremors until the ground caves in. The latest such sign was brought forth by Murang'a Governor Dr. Irungu Kang'ata. His prophetic letters or pressers ought to be taken seriously now. Why? Because Kang'ata has done this before. In 2021, he wrote a detailed letter to warn Jubilee that the ground was shifting. He told them the central Kenya vote was slipping away. They called him a traitor. He was chased away from his majority whip position in the Senate. But his prophecy came to pass regardless. Jubilee collapsed spectacularly. Now Kang'ata is warning UDA about 2027. He is not just complaining. He is reading the same political barometer. Will the UDA leadership listen this time? All evidence says no. And that refusal to listen portends doom. Let us talk about the visible indicators of decline. Major pointers of UDA's growing unpopularity are the vibes, those conversations in public places and media platforms. Matatu touts discuss it. Mama mboga sellers debate it. Radio call-in shows are savage. The mood is sour. Then we have defection from the party by key individuals. This is not small fish living. This is Murang'a Governor Dr. Irungu Kang'ata himself distancing his ship. Then Kirinyaga politician Wangui Njirisai, once a fierce UDA queenpin, has walked away. Kiambu Governor Kamani Wamatangi has also jumped. These three from empty Kenya alone would have been unthinkable in 2022. They were the face of the hustler wave. Now they are gone or going. Their departure bleeds grassroots organization. It also signals to voters that staying in UDA is a losing bet.
Generate unintended sympathy for those perceived to be targeted. It is a reminder that we do not learn from history, if we do not learn from history, we risk repeating it. UDA party, among the reasons it won in 2022, is because of how it was persecuted by Jubilee government. I'm surprised when I see UDA party repeating the same mistake of prosecuting people who are then garnering major political sympathy, becoming most popular and popular and popular. It's as if we did not learn anything in the year 2022. An example, we have seen attacks in churches in Othaya. We have seen attacks in churches in Nairobi, Eastlands. We have seen people being pushed out, like Sifuna from ODM party. And immediately that happens, they become major political players. So it appears we did not learn anything in the year 2022, that we should not coerce people.
I have said it here.
Yes.
Why Mikey?
Okay.
That William will not run on UDA. I said it maybe 2 years ago. They will craft another outfit. You cannot run under UDA in the mountain. There's only one person I believe will use UDA kwa mlima. Kama itakuwako Ichung'wa.
But the strongest proof of rejection is electoral. Look at the poor public response to UDA campaigns in the pending by-elections. 2 seats matter now, OL Kalou in Laikipia and Emurua Dikiir in Bomet. These should be easy wins. Laikipia and Bomet are Rift Valley tough, UDA's supposed bedrock. Instead, the campaigns are drawing thin crowds. There is no energy. Local party officials are complaining of withheld resources. Worse, opposition candidates are getting genuine traction. In Kalou, voters openly say they want a protest vote. In Emurua Dikiir, the silence from UDA diehards is deafening. This is not a blip. It is a fever reading. In Kalou party nominations, barely 2,000 voters turned up in the May 8 UDA candidate nominations. Compare that with over 20,000 voters who turned up in the DCP nominations. Why is this happening? Because UDA drove its core support from only 2 regions in the 2022 general elections. Kenya and Rift Valley. That was always a fragile coalition. Kenya gave the numbers. Rift Valley gave the solidarity. But today, both are sleeping. Rift Valley feels taken for granted. The promise of economic liberation has not materialized. In Kenya, the betrayal is even deeper. They feel used and dumped. Governor Kang'ata's presser and media interviews detail this exact resentment. He writes about unfulfilled pledges, about neglect and inefficacies of health, education, coffee, and tea reforms. And when a governor from the mountain says the ground is shifting again, you should believe him. Now consider the national picture. Compensating the declining support from other regions is bound to prove a tall order. Why? Because activities of other opposition groups have already eaten out the support bases of UDA that existed outside the Kenya and Rift Valley strongholds. Let me break it down. In Ukambani, the Wiper Patriotic Front has reasserted itself. Kalonzo Musyoka is no longer sleeping. He has rebuilt his machinery county by county. UDA once had a small but meaningful foothold there, especially among young Kamba voters. That foothold is gone. Wiper has taken it back. In Western Kenya, DAP-Kenya has become the new rallying point. Eugene Wamalwa and John Netembea of the Toa fame have consolidated Luhya support away from UDA. Remember, UDA had hoped to split that vote. That hope is dead. Most critically, there is the Linda Mwananchi movement that broke away from ODM. This is a game changer. Linda Mwananchi is led by former ODM loyalists who are angry Oburu Odinga's unconditional support for President William Ruto's 2-term. Linda Mwananchi Battalion have positioned themselves as the true opposition. And they are eating into the small UDA pockets in Coast, Nyanza, and even parts of Nairobi, where any has been left by the equally rapidly growing DCP of former President Rigathi Gachagua. These were areas of Coast and Nyanza, where UDA had made minor inroads through handouts and rallies. Now those inroads are being reversed. So where does UDA go? It has no viable expansion territory. The party cannot grow east, west, or coastward. Its only hope was to hold Kenya and Rift Valley together like glue. That glue is dissolving. Kang'ata's prophecy is simple but brutal. UDA will enter 2027 as a wounded giant, bleeding from its own strongholds, while every other region has already aligned with someone else. The UDA leaders, including the president, continually blunders by thinking they can rally people through monetary inducements, intimidation by goons, and social media tirades. UDA actors blunder by ignoring the vibes. They blunder by dismissing defectors as bitter losers. But the by-elections in Kalou and Emurua Dikiir will not lie. The public response is already poor. The momentum is gone. And when August 10, 2027 arrives, Kenya will see that the signs were there all along. Kang'ata wrote them down. Nobody read them. That is the doom. Slow, avoidable, and entirely self-inflicted. Let me leave at that. Please take a second to subscribe button there below, and you may also like and share the podcast with your friends. Thank you for listening to Dokiza TV podcast.
Sasa hao wengine wanasema huyu si mzuri afukuzwe. Na hii kitu ya kufukuza watu sasa wanafanya kazi yetu kuwa ngumu. kazi yetu ya kutafutia rais kura imekuwa ngumu. Ukienda mahali unaulizwa kwa nini fulani alifukuzwa. Hata kule kwa bunge wanafukuza wengine. Kule kwa bunge wengine wanataka kufukuzwa. Na hii ni kipindi cha lala salama. Hiyo itasaidia sisi. Tunataka sisi wote tuwe pamoja. Wakati kama mtu amekosea, sema sorry, tuendelee mbele.